Prince Harry accused of harassment and bullying in a series of explosive interviews this weekend by the chairwoman of the charity he started in his mother's memory.
All right, here's royal expert Patricia Treble joins us now for another royal roundup, and I feel like we should all get the mugs here, the cups, because we're going to spill some tea. What more can you tell us about these interviews, these allegations that come after Harry and his co-founder resigned from this charity last week?
Yeah, they resigned, and 5 of the trustees resigned. It was quite a weekend. I spent most of it working. And this basically comes down to a growing feud, a war of words between Harry's people and the chairwoman of the charity. Her name is Sophie Chandaka, and she was on live British TV on Sunday. She was on one of the big Sunday shows, and she laid some very specific allegations. The first she said is that Harry's brand is now so toxic that they're actually losing funding. And this is a small charity. It's only about 7-8 million Canadian, and it really depends on a few funders. And she said they're really struggling because of his brand. And then the second thing was that she said that he's been mixing, basically, charity and commercial ventures. And specifically, it's the polo match last year in Florida that a month before he came to her and said, oh, by the way, Netflix cameras are going to be there. They're going to be filming for my series that's going to, commercial series that's going to be on Netflix called Polo. And she's like, well, wait a second. We need to talk to the venue. It's now a commercial venture. We need to talk to all the sponsors. We need to talk to everyone there. Everyone's going to have to sign permissions. They lost the venue. They were scrambling to get another venue. And if that weren't enough, on the day of, Meghan shows up with Serena Williams, which was lovely. Meghan wasn't supposed to be there. And then at the awards ceremony at the end, and you know how carefully choreographed those always are, she was right in the middle. Well, of course, there were too many people on the stage. It threw all the choreography off. It looked awkward. There were lots of stuff online about it. Then Harry's people, this is what Sophie Chandaka says, approached her and said, we want you to issue a letter of support for Meghan. And at which point, the chairwoman of the charity is like, no, I'm not doing your personal PR for you. And it all comes at the same time as the charity is struggling. I mean, it is struggling financially. I pulled all the financials going back to its very start, and it has basically been trending, the income has been trending downward. So they are really in trouble.
And the chairwoman also said when Harry left his senior royal duties with the royal family, that's when they started to, a lot of their funders started to back away.
Exactly. So the other thing is that he went last fall. Finally, they said, look, you haven't been to Lesotho, which is where all their charitable work is, mainly Lesotho and Botswana, and it's helping people who have HIV/AIDS. It's an incredibly good cause. He hadn't been there for 6 years, and they said, look, you need to go there. Like, we need to show these pictures. You are the face of the charity, and we're really struggling. So I think this week we're going to see probably even more coming out about this.
Yeah, I was going to ask, does this story got legs?
I think this story has a lot of legs, because now we're going to have to, we're going to have to hear from the other side. We're going to have to hear Harry answering very specific questions.
But the board sounds divided.
Well, the old board has completely resigned, so now they've got new people in, and like one of them was on the show with her on Sunday. So it's just trying to figure out where this charity goes from now. I mean, does it even survive? Which would be bad for the people it's helping.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's jump ahead and talk about the King Charles, who we know late last week was hospitalized for a short stay due to side effects with his cancer treatment. What is the latest on the King's health? Yeah,
so he left London. We saw him leave London on Friday. He made a point of being very public as he left London to go away for the weekend to a country estate. He rested there. We got guidance this morning from the palace that he rested well, their schedule this week is going to be down a little bit because he and Queen Camilla are preparing for a huge state visit next week to Italy. But he's the king, and that man is a workaholic. You were going to see him out and about this week, but they're trying to just trim his schedule as much as they can. Okay.
From the king to Princess Catherine. Yeah. The latest on Kate.
Yeah, so it was Mothering Sunday in Britain, which is, our Mother's Day. And if you remember last year, there was the infamous photo, the photo of her with the kids that she had photoshopped. Remember, there was the big scandal. Right. They had to pull it. She was not making that mistake this year. She released this beautiful video, Mother Nature. She was saluting Mother Nature, the mother of all Mother's Day. And because she was talking about how, and she's talked about this before, about how the outdoors really has been a sanctuary for her and her family. And she wants to encourage other people to get outside.
All right. Well, a great message on UK's Mother's Day yesterday. Absolutely. From Kate. Patricia, thank you for this. Appreciate it. I have a feeling we might be talking again later this week.
I think we are.
Okay.